For this afternoon's video, instead of talking about the figures that are new and are just on pre-order and the ones that are just out of reach, and talking about Hasbro's problems with regards to distribution, production, and financial standing, let us talk about the ones that we already have on board, the ones that are within reach. Why stress or have headaches or have high blood pressure and heartaches about the figures that we just can't hold on to right now? Because actually we already have a lot of figures that are within our reach. So for example, these figures I already have featured them in my channel, but since those videos I already have done changes to them. So let me briefly talk about each figure and the changes that each figure has undergone. So let's start the ball rolling with Pimp Daddy Destro. So what are the changes on this action figure? So the coat that comes from Marvel Legends Netflix Punisher. The weapon, the gold AK-47, also comes from Action Force Valverse. Now the changes on the action figures parts. From waist down, that's going to come from G.I. Joe Classified Series Roadblock, the second version. Actually, the legs of Roadblock increased the height of this Destro action figure by 2 centimeters. So at least you have a action figure that looks taller and looks beefier, bulkier, instead of a short looking action figure. Now, just simple changes on the attaché case. We just painted the Cobra logo both sides, and the attaché case also would carry the spare magazines for the gold AK-47. So the look I'm going for with this G.I. Joe Classified Series, my Declassified Series Destro action figure, is a tactical businessman. So this is my final version of G.I. Joe Classified Series Outback. So changes. We got rid of the tiger head on the chest and we painted tiger stripes on the shirt. So the weapon that comes from a NECA Terminator T800 Arnold Schwarzenegger. And from waist down, so the pants and the band briefs, they're going to come from G.I. Joe Classified Series Duke. The boots, they're going to come from G.I. Joe Classified Series Pimp Daddy Destro. And the pistol belt, that is stock accessory that comes from this action figure from Outback. And with regards to the flashlight, I just placed the other flashlight on this side. So the holder, I cut the straps on the holder and glued the holder to the pistol belt and placed the flashlight on this side. And also with the knife, so the knife is already on the small of the back. So this used to be with my custom G.I. Joe Declassified Series Tunnel Rat action figure, but since I already modified that action figure and presented it in a separate video, Slaughters Marauders, just check out the changes that I did to that action figure through that video. But for Outback, this is my final version of Outback. For a very long time, I haven't talked about a Snake Eyes action figure. So presenting my version of Commando Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Declassified Series, my Declassified Series Commando Snake Eyes. So I really didn't care about a dog, so why spend $44 for a set that actually is just rehashed? So let us talk about this build. So waist up, that's going to be Generation 1 Snake Eyes action figure. Waist down, so the man briefs, the pants, and the boots, that's going to come from G.I. Joe Classified Series Python Patrol Cobra Officer. Now, with the inclusion of the parts from the Cobra Officer, actually, I increased the height and the overall look of the action figure, because the legs of the original figure, the Gen 1 Snake Eyes, was just somehow way too short and way too thin with regards to or compared to the upper body. So that's the reason why I changed it. So as for the accessories, the pistol, and the knife, I placed them on the pistol belt, because what's the purpose of having a pistol belt if you don't have anything on the pistol belt, and the pistol and the knife is on the thigh? That is just ridiculous. So instead of having thigh mounted things, I just opted to glue them on the pistol belt. So for the head, I just very simple. I just painted the visor, nothing fancy. Now the forearm guards or braziers, that's going to come from G.I. Joe Classified Series Python Patrol Viper. So it increased somehow the forearm heft of the action figure, so the arm does not look so thin. So this action figure now looks really nicely bulked up. So the swords, that's going to come from a G.I. Joe Retaliation Blue Ninja, the 3.75 inch action figure. So I just changed the handles on that sword system, these two sword systems, to something that this action figure could grab on to. So it was quite a process of finding the right diameter of handle that could fit those blades. So final thing that we added to this action figure is going to be the weapon, the iconic weapon for a Snake Eyes action figure. What is the changes that I added? So actually this comes from my Classified Series Kamakura action figure. So as you could see, the sling, that looks familiar because of course that comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series, the Rifle of Outback. So I cut the sling system and glued it to the weapon, and I was really not a fan of the barrel diameter of this actual weapon, so I cut it down and placed a muzzle device. And very simple, instead of buying those fancy muzzle devices from other toy companies, I just made my own. So very simple, just make use of stick glue. Okay, so let's talk about Python Patrol Cobra Officer waist down. Changes, that's going to come from the pants, the boots, and the man briefs, that's going to come from G.I. Joe Classified Series Flint. The weapon is Action Force Valaverse, the pistol is Action Force Valaverse, the knife is going to be Action Force Valaverse. So with some of the stuff on the pistol belt, but the bag, that is going to be G.I. Joe Classified Series Python Patrol Viper. So very simple changes. And the last thing that I added to this is going to be the goggles. So the goggles, that's going to come from G.I. Joe Classified Series Dusty. And last thing that I did to this action figure, very simple thing, was just to paint the buckle of the belt with black paint. Very simple. So just another variant to my Cobra Officer, Python Patrol Cobra Officer. So we have my first version of Python Patrol Cobra Officer. So the thing that I changed to this configuration is just going to be the pants. So pants, boots, man briefs is going to come from G.I. Joe Classified Series Python Patrol Viper. So the thing that I did was just to tone down the yellow paint on the pants of the figure. So different variants to a Cobra Officer. So I could just if just in case I get tired with this look, I could still go back to this look and just transfer the accessories on the pistol belt and that backpack and that weapon to this action figure. So this is my version of Rick Kondo. So I just combined the Predators movie, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Predators movie Sergeant Blaine Cooper look with the Recondo look. Okay, so we have Sergeant Blaine Recondo Cooper. So it's just worth it to add this action figure because I have really a lot of fun with building this action figure. So let's do a quick 360 of the figure. So just a quick rundown of the things that I used with this action figure. The head unit is going to come from G.I. Joe Classified Series Tiger Force Recondo figure. So neck down, that's going to be Classified Series Sergeant Stalker. But with regards to the gear on this action figure, they come from multiple sources. But for a G.I. Joe Classified Series line, the backpack strap, the pistol belt is going to be G.I. Joe Classified Series. The knife and the weapon, that's going to be G.I. Joe Classified Series. But the rest of the items are non-G.I. Joe Classified Series items. But it really, overall, it really completes the Sergeant Blaine Recondo Cooper look. Presenting my version, I think this is the last version that I'm going to present a video for a Lieutenant Falcon declassified action figure, my declassified series action figure, so Tiger Force. So let's do a quick 360 of the figure. So if you're really familiar with the base body neck down of this action figure, it's going to be G.I. Joe Classified Series Recondo. So I was looking at both action figures before I did a head swap and a accessory swap. So I just wanted to really commit to a Predator Sergeant Blaine Cooper figure and something that also feels like Recondo. So best of both worlds, I just took out the heads of these two units and gear swapped. So take out the rest of the components of the minigun and placed it on this action figure, the base body Sergeant Stalker, which this head unit was resting on. And finally, the head unit is resting on this action figure, completing or finalizing that Blaine Cooper or Recondo Blaine Cooper look. And I found the final resting place, or where my heart rests, for a 6-inch Classified Series or the Classified Series Lieutenant Falcon action figure. So I am finally canceling that action figure from Hasbro because I think this really looks better. Okay, so I think when I propped up the Recondo action figure, when I placed the parts, especially the knife, the machete on the back and the weapon on this back, somehow it really prepared for the Tiger Force Lieutenant Falcon. So what I did was just to put on the bag, which I already made for a previous Lieutenant Falcon build, and I put on the Lieutenant Falcon head, and of course just a simple soft goods scarf, so from an old shirt. So as you could see, so we still have that receiver, the antenna, and the gun. So this is the final gun or weapon for my version of Tiger Force Lieutenant Falcon. So it's going to be a AA-12 automatic shotgun. So instead of a pump action shotgun that would only hold 8 or 10 rounds plus 1 in the chamber, I increased the payload or the firing load with an AA-12. So really loving this look. So my fascination with the Lieutenant Falcon character does not stem from the 1986 animated movie, the G.I. Joe movie. Actually, the portrayal of Lieutenant Falcon in that movie was really trash. I did not like it. So my personal fascination started with the John Wayne, the Green Beret movie. And majority of my friends, their fathers served with special forces in the Philippines. So they were Philippine Scout Rangers, the elite of the Philippine Army, and they were sent here in the US to train with the Green Berets. So they sported the beret and the flash when they went home. So that started my fascination with Green Beret action figures. And when the first Lieutenant Falcon was introduced in the market, I was really excited to see this. So when I finally got my copy in 3.75-inch scale, I built my own 1:6 scale action figure, Green Beret action figure, my 1:6 scale Lieutenant Falcon. And finally, I rest my case with a G.I. Joe Declassified Series Lieutenant Falcon Tiger Force. So utilizing Recondo and the Origins Snake Eyes movie head Snake Eyes, and the beret comes from Sergeant Stalker. So the weapon is going to come from Action Force followers. A very simple build that if you are like me, you like the Lieutenant Falcon figure, you could build this figure. So just like the John Wayne Green Beret movie, 100 men will train today, but only few will be Green Beret. So I end this video with that note. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.